It's actually a shame that I can't show you anything of the work that I'm working on due to NDAs. However, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about freelancing in general. I have been a freelance film editor for over 16 years and I have been in the film industry for over 20 years. And I wanted to use the opportunity to tell you how to be a freelancer, or what I believe makes up for a good freelancer. Talent is important, but in my humble opinion, it is only a fraction of all of the single parts that make you a good freelancer. In my experience, one of the most important parts of being a freelancer is to be, yeah, it sounds a little bit cliche, to be a decent person that people like to work with, that is a person that people respect. Because especially as a film editor, you sit a lot of time with the client, the agency, but more importantly with the director in one room, edit on one project. And don't get me wrong, the irony is not lost on me at the moment because I am working remotely alone at home. However, being remotely or working remotely also applies to this important factor of being a freelancer, because I do a lot of video calls, and with those there is a lot of trust involved, that the director, the client, the agency trust you as the freelancer to perform and work well, even though they are not with you. And also, if you are in a video call with the director, you also sit there in a video call for multiple hours, and yeah, you should have a good time while working with any person. So in my humble opinion, it is important to be a good person, to be a person that people want to spend time with. So don't be a dick, actually. So be good to work with, be collaborative, don't be very stubborn, especially in the creative process. It is so important to know that you work with the team on a project. Don't be, oh, I want to do it this way or I want to do it that way, but be helpful in a way. And if you disagree with something, explain it in a constructive way. Don't be like, oh, I don't like that. For me personally, if I do not like anything or if I think a different way works better, I always explain why I think we should go a different route or why I believe something doesn't work that well, and then start a constructive discussion about what we should do next. The next part about being a freelancer is actually finances. It is so important to save up money for those times where you might not have a job. For instance, the beginning of the year, January and February in the film industry, usually there's nothing going on. So you need to be prepared for that and have some form of saving to keep you afloat during the month that you don't work. I usually have savings that keep me up afloat for at least 2 months. So if I maybe break a leg or there's no job, I can survive for at least 2 months. Next up, taxes. It is so important to save up for taxes because there will come a point where you have to pay taxes. If you didn't save up money, then you'll be, basically fucked, right? So I always, whenever I send out an invoice and the client pays me that invoice, I take 40% of that money and I know that's not mine. 60% of that, what has been paid by a client, that is mine, but 40% that is not mine, that is for taxes, that goes into a separate account, and that is really important. Don't keep everything on the same account because you might accidentally buy something and then kind of eat into that money that you have been saving up for taxes. So I always put those 40% on a different account and know that that is for taxes. If there's something left over in that account, that is great, maybe for the next taxes, but that is not, in air quotes, your money. That is for the taxes. So the most important factors, or some of the most important factors, are being a good person to work with, secondly, having a good grasp of your finances, saving up some money for the bad month, and saving up money for taxes. And thirdly is talent. It's not that talent is, in my humble opinion, important. It is important to have talent, obviously, but as I said, it's only a fraction. Being good at your job is always also a relation of your experiences and having done something multiple times and learning stuff on the go. There's this saying, was it Bruce Lee doing a kick 10,000 or 100,000 times, so you are really good at it. I'm butchering that quote, but in essence, it is also about practice and experience. And if you don't have that much talent, you could, and I'm trying to be really careful about that, you could actually practice and learn a lot to make up for the lack of talent. So yeah, talent is important, but it is not the biggest factor. And I think if you practice a lot and learn a lot and gain a lot of experience, then you can be good at that job as well.